Previously on the Dutetube on the YouTube.
We're gonna play a new part of the game called
For those
net
of you who don't-
values, and we're gonna guess too.
I like that.
Thanks.
That one was a little
This
greasy.
is sweet, man. I wish you guys could see this.
Oh well, I'll take a
Okay,
picture. And
Tom
throw it
Brady.
up
Oh yeah, look at that. Look at Giselle. $360 million.
there. All right, I played this game with someone else the other night. This will blow your fucking mind. All right, so you ready to get on the things real quick?
Can we do
Pat?
rappers next or something? What's next?
Look, I want you to guess what Donald Trump, his net worth is. Guess. It's kind of posted all over the place, so you should be in the
2 billion turds.
28 billion.
28 billion. You're way too high. You're a little low.
Don't worry,
I want you
guys.
to look this shit
He's
up.
draining the swamp. I'm not getting political.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Look up Donald Trump net worth.
He's got bread. That's for sure.
I'm pretty sure it's like $7 billion.
Dude, I mean, if you play this game with some people, you'd really be shocked to learn that.
Well, we start off with the comedians. What is it? 3? Oh, okay. So John was super close.
Super close. Huh?
Look
Super
up
close.
this is the one that blew my mind. Look up Vladimir Putin.
Well, I was actually exact because
It's-
he owes 1.7 billion
On
in
back
taxes,
taxes?
so he actually is worth 2 billion.
Look at that. 200 billion?
Oh, can we?
Are you fucking
this is-
serious?
This is great link. Great link. So, do you know why Robert Kraft only has 4 of his 5 rings?
Ooh, are we going back? Is this a joke?
No, just leave it. No. Do you know why Robert Kraft only has? So Robert Kraft won 5 Super Bowl rings, right?
Okay.
And he only has 4 of them. Do you know why? Because he went to Russia, and one of his friends was like, "Hey, you should show Vlad your ring."
Oh,
That's
where
how
he?
much- and
So,
he
so
took it.
Trump, him, they're
Yeah.
all boys. That's what's up.
No, so
That's what's
so
up.
Kraft gave fucking Vlad his ring, and yeah, the way Kraft talks about it, he's like, yeah, he liked it, so he kept it. So yeah, so
And I
Vladimir
would-
Putin has one of Kraft's rings because the motherfucker will murder you
Yeah,
in your
absolutely.
sleep.
Yeah.
Easily.
You don't hand him something. You don't like bring your wife to Vladimir Putin and be
Okay.
like, I really love this girl.
Hang
You
on.
will fuck her before you said
So that's
2
what you're
words.
going to go with. The first, what's the number? Like a couple things you wouldn't do to Vladimir Putin. I think the first one is
Meet him.
I would not shag his wife.
No,
Yeah.
no practical jokes.
no practical jokes. Like you're like, hey, Vladimir Putin, hey, look at this flower, my brooch, and then you like squirt him in the face
Yeah.
with.
They're like, did they do pranks in the KGB? Did the KGB prank each other?
Did they prank each other? Unya.
Did they? Ah,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Unya. Uns.
And this is going to go on the internet, so he's going to kill all of us.
Vladimir Putin, if you're
I
out
love
there,
you. I
please
love you.
don't
You're great.
kill
You're
us.
great. You know.
So cheers, gentlemen. Let's get a nice little. Jazz hands coming at you
That was
live.
great. The release, just
So where are you heading next on your trip?
well.
Yeah. So.
Are you going to New Orleans to see
Aspen
Buku?
is on the map.
All
Yeah,
right,
so we're,
heading up
I
Aspen.
mean, we had a major malfunction in the trip today.
Okay.
So about 200 miles out from Denver, we noticed some weird smells, and Marsh was like, something's really hot on his foot, and there was some very hot liquid.
It's true. It's
Hot magma.
liquid hot magma.
Liquid hot magma. There was some very hot liquid coming out of the driver's, the front passenger seat.
This is where you press
Like
fast forward.
where the like glove compartment would be, and yeah, so we stopped, checked it out. It wasn't too bad.
So it was
I'm
leaking.
gonna fast-
Hang on one sec. It was leaking onto Marshall. Your legs.
Kind of like my
No, onto
beer
his
is
feet.
right now out of my
He's
face.
onto his feet. Onto his feet, where
Yeah,
he
yeah,
puts his
I
feet.
had my
Und
feet up
feet?
underneath the dash.
Und toes.
I had my toes
Und
up
toes
under the
und
dash,
feet.
and then the next thing I know is there was just the liquids everywhere. I don't know.
No,
Hey,
so I'm
Before
gonna
we
fast
get going
forward.
on,
I'm gonna fast
before you
forward.
get going on. Cheers to the times that we had in Arizona and when we met each other.
Fuck yeah, man.
For sure,
Cheers to that.
this would not be happening if it weren't for those.
How many times did you pee on my couch?
Oh, probably once or twice, right?
We started locking you outside when you got too drunk.
Dude,
There was a point where we
there
started
was-
locking you outside.
Well, it was Arizona, so it was no big deal. I just kind of
No.
roll over into the
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, in
Yeah.
Arizona,
wait,
your
so-
pee dries up faster than anywhere else, so that's cool.
That's a fact. Yo,
So-
my friend went to Arizona. He was like, "Hey, you went to school down in Arizona?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What did you think of the girls?" He was like, "Dude," and he like collapsed. He's like, "They're so fucking hot." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what that is. I just think that those girls really like the hot weather." And oh, right in the Snapchat, baby. Snapchat. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Good to
dude.
see you, everyone.
Good to see you, good to see you.
Okay.
I can
I'm
never
gonna put some really
imitate.
cool shit up
I
there.
can never do that. I can never do that.
What's going on, folks, in Facebook Live? It's good to see you. Is that pretty good?
Dude, that was
Get a
spot on,
close
man.
up.
It's like you never forgot. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's up, John Koshak? Really good friend that I work at with Kona Grill. He is down in Arlington having a good old time. We miss you, John. Very good drummer. Come back to Colorado and save us, John. You must save us. You must save us, John. All right, sorry.
So,
Let's get away from social media for a sec. You want to cut
back.
that off and we'll get this thing going. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Go ahead, John.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling the story that
Van,
you
fast
You're
forward.
interrupted me.
fucking throwing a
Van.
filter on this
Fast
shit.
forward.
Yeah, well, let's try to put
hey,
some.
okay, let John. Yeah, put a ceremonious pile.
I hope that posts. So what was I saying? I was saying. So it started as
Talk
a
about the
drip.
band.
I'm gonna fast forward. I need a new beer.
Gotcha.
I was gonna fast
Listen,
forward.
hold on.
So it started dripping, and then we were like, "Oh, let's pull over, whatever." Then it just started fucking flooding. Mom, I'm sorry, I'm cussing. It started like flooding, and we were like a little concerned. I called like every mechanic I knew. Called mechanics in Denver. Called mechanics at home. They were like, "Oh yeah, it's your." Oh, he gets a good beer. It was. They're like,
Don't
"Oh,
open it. Don't open it.
it's your." No, I want this one. I'll drink it faster. I'll drink it faster.
Are you serious? All right.
So I called them and they're like, "Hey, if you got all this coolant coming out of your
Who's they? Let's fucking
Oh.
bash him. Who is it?
no it's
Triple A
It's
of
goddamn
America.
Triple A, and this has happened to me too.
Wait, I'm not there yet.
Okay,
I'm not at
sorry,
that part.
sorry.
It was mechanics. I was on the phone with mechanics and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's your heating coil, your heating core." And I was like, "Oh, fucking what happens?" And they're like, "Well, just look at your temperature gauges and keep driving." So we
Alright.
kept driving, and then we
Skip
got to
three
a point
sentences.
where it was like literally pouring out. So we're like, "Oh shit, we this
Skip
is
the
fucked."
sentence.
So we got to AAA, called them. They sent out a driver after an hour and a half, and the guy comes up. He's like, "Oh, they didn't tell me it was an RV. I can't fucking take you." And I was like, "Bitch, I told the chick like
You
12
didn't
times."
say that.
on-
Bitch.
on-
Bitch.
I was like,
bitch.
I was like,
Mr. White.
she was like, "Mr. White."
Mr. Bitch.
Jesse! You were Jesse Pinkman and I was Walter White, bitch! Bitch!
She was like, "What model is it?" And I'm like, "Bitch, it's a conversion van, like the big kind."
Hey, he holds his gun sideways.
Yo, so she sent it. They sent out this guy, right? He was like, "Oh, I can't do that." So I called him back
He
up.
talks like Tom Brady.
Yeah, he talks like Tom Brady. It was Tom Brady. Tom Brady, the GOAT, picks up PD. No, so,
that's right.
what was I saying? Yeah, so I called the guy back, and I'm like, "Motherfuckers, you sent out this dude. It was an hour and a half. He's like, 'Oh, I can't take this.' And I told you a bunch of times." So they're like, "Oh, we'll listen to the recordings." I'm like, "Yeah, fucking listen to the recordings." They did listen to the recordings. I was fucking right. They told me that. Sent out another guy. That guy came after another hour. Gets out, looks at the van, goes, "They didn't tell me it was an RV. They didn't tell me it was an RV." Motherfucker. But he's like, "You know what? I live for challenges."
He was
And this-
missing teeth.
Yeah, no, I think this guy was like on the end of an epic meth binge. I don't want to say that, but he was scratching himself so
He was
much.
He was missing teeth.
He was,
I
no,
tell
he
you,
was
he was
not-
missing
he was
teeth.
not missing. But it took them like 2 hours to put the thing on, and it did not look safe. Like he was like, "Oh, I can't fit this," and then like fit it.
It took you 2 hours to tell that story.
Oh my god, it's called editing, Marsh. How close am I supposed
what
to
I'm
be
saying.
to this microphone? How
Lenardi.
I'm sorry. So I'm gonna skip ahead.
Christina
So
Lenardi
So-
and
Yeah,
Drew
Marsh. Yeah,
we're
hey,
gonna fast forward
here's
2
the
weeks
baton.
from now.
Here's the baton.
Me and him We're in a van. We're headed down
By the
to
river?
New Orleans. We're going to Mardi Gras. We're gonna.
You'll have plenty of time writing those books when you're living in a van down by the river.
Listen, I actually
Sorry.
started writing a book this afternoon. That's funny you say that.
How ironic.
The first line was,
what is it
Ethan
about?
Ritter is a jackass.
Yeah.
Hey, there's 2 rules. You refer to me as the dude and dudes as dude.
I don't-
Dude is a cuss word and
Well,
dude is
I thought I could say cuss words on your show.
Not that one.
You know,
That's the forbidden one.
time ago when I
Hey.
murdered him.
Yeah. Hey,
Down
let's
by
do
the river.
a quick plug. Instagram. Go ahead. What's your book about for real? Are you gonna seriously write one? Because this
if
I
we're
could
being
hold you
real serious,
accountable.
The book is very open right now. It's actually not even a book. It's more like
Short story.
personal memoirs turned fictional tale is what it's gonna be.
Okay.
It's gonna be like stretching the truth a lot, but keeping the me and the obnoxiousness that is me very much so intact.
I got you.
Oh, it's an autobiography.
So
Yeah,
no,
except
but it's
it has
more like
nothing to do with me.
hey,
In fact,
that-
I named the main
yeah,
character.
I'll load
Pat.
you up on a good one.
No, I just want this thing off of it.
I know it's fucking unscrews, man.
No, I got it. Leave it.
In actually it's a funny story. He lives in Connecticut with his 2 roommates, and then he one day he decides that like life isn't enough. And,
Whoa. What?
Oh, you just got it, dude. I wasn't even listening.
Yeah. Oh. So this is a fuck about Pat or something. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm
and
gonna-
the-
hey,
hold on,
wait.
let's
I
get back to the
got
story.
2 more things.
But
Wait,
one
wait,
of my
what's the
roommates-
title? What's the
last
title?
thing, I have one thing to say. This poker
my
thing that
my
he
guest
does.
just peed his chest.
Dude, I'm so
guys.
exhausted. I've
That's
literally
all I gotta
All right.
say.
Thank God. Hey, I'm gonna cheers you on thing. One thing. You are hey, it's good. You're a smart kid. I think you're very cerebral, and thank God you buckled your seatbelt that second time. I'm serious, man. I heard
know,
that story.
am
It's
too.
fucking crazy.
I am too.
That's what a smart person would do is click him in right away.
This guy today, matter of fact, speaking of this long story John told,
No
that
names.
the driver,
It had a lot of details.
he brought up something about how being with some drunk driver, he almost broke down in tears because the guy was drunk and driving like an asshole and he thought he was going to die. Dude, if I wasn't wasted beyond all recognition, I'm pretty sure I would have been crying in the
Foobar.
backseat of that fucking GS because that was,
Intense.
bar none, probably
yeah,
the
you-
scariest and craziest moment of my life.
Yeah, and you know me, so that's saying something.
Right. That is saying something.
Can I get a new
You're right.
shirt? Is there, are there
yeah,
shirts?
Actually,
are there
there's-
Dutetube's
hey,
shirts?
grab him a Colorado flag.
So blessing.
All right,
and
hey,
loving.
I got time for one more that I want to ask you about, and I want
Wait,
your.
no, can we keep going?
Yeah, we can,
Okay.
but we won't. No. Yo, hey, I want to know what happened because I heard there was a little group powwow around the fire, but I was blacked out for this. Please tell me your story in your own words about me and my first encounter with Pat and Gage, like the earrings, trying to quote unquote tackle your tent down, and I look a lot like Pope, so it could have been Pope, is what I'm thinking. Go ahead.
I don't remember this one, but I remember shaving Pat's beard.
Hey, Marshall, I think you remember this one.
I'll say this much.
Go ahead. Pat told me it would be nice if we asked you this
Th-
story.
Oh, actually, I remember this one.
So,
yeah, I
so
was gonna
for,
say
for the record,
he's like everyone
Ethan
sat down.
gets the drunkest on Wednesdays. For the record.
It's a lot of room. Cheers to room. Cheers to room.
Marshall.
Back to the story at hand. Ethan comes in Wednesday. Ethan, okay. So you got that. You know what Wednesday Ethan looks like, right?
Kind of like
Like
this kid.
baggy-eyed, like drunken slobber. Like
So
I'm just
Ethan-
yelling shit like deuce.
Ethan stumbles into my cot and he sits down next to me and he's like, Marshall,
Good to see you. Probably.
it's good to see you.
see you. It's good
He said, why do these kids hate me? And I said, who hates you? He said, these your friends. I don't know them. This is true, by the way. This is true. This is all real
I know,
facts.
I know.
You can
You're
text
doing
it,
good on the story
Mike
now.
Pope, JB Young. I'm like, hey guys, this is,
Return of the Mac.
Ethan's my friend. We're great buddies, but you guys know him better than me. Could you please just tell Wednesday Ethan to go back to Tuesday or something because it's getting out of hand. So, they tell him. Ethan doesn't take it great.
I don't listen in those
I miss
situations.
Ethan, man. He was a great kid. I really do. But he didn't take it great. So he kind of wanders off into the bushes, drinks 4 more beers,
5.
makes things better. And then, he comes back and next thing I know, he's, mind you, Patty Moe's blacked out at this time too. So, let bygones be bygones here.
You were.
But, things got great, and Ethan decided to try to, make up with Pat, I guess, and he, tried to hug Pat, and Pat was not having it, just not having it. So Pat, swim moved him, he was going, D-end for Tom Brady, and he's, he's coming at the quarterback, and then Ethan,
And then
in
Brady
his
steps up in the
stumble,
pocket
just
and
falls on the tent, just falls on Pat's tent.
Okay. Hey, I think it's time for Garrett's video of the week.
Wait, can we? We were talking about that. Yeah,
Bro,
can we
where
get a
are
picture of George Wash chickens?
Oh
We
yeah.
might as well.
Do we
George
have?
Wash
Do we have a
chicken.
great picture of you?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
we even picture it?
Wow. Look at him. Look at
Yeah.
him.
I look studious. I mean, what's it called when you're stout?
Stout.
Stout.
You look
yeah.
When you're stout, regal. Regal.
regal. That
It
was
looks
good.
real.
SAT
regal.
words for you children out there watching.
Give thanks to Garrett.
Thank you, Garrett.
Thanks, Garrett.
I
that was a
still
great
have.
video.
I didn't watch it yet.
That was a
I
great
haven't.
video.
I didn't.
Okay,
Can
go
we
ahead,
replay
push
it one
play.
more? No, I'm just kidding.
Where are you?
Well, when I went skydiving in Arizona, I was at the place that you can free fall for the most. It's called Eloy.
Eloy, Arizona. Yeah,
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 yeah.
It's one of the biggest
And they-
skydiving places in the
Yeah,
country.
they take you
Yeah.
way up past whatever, and at a certain point, I was like, "Wow, okay, I'm still fine." And I was like, "This guy's on my back, and we're just gonna fall." And I'm trying to sky, woo! And I told the guy, I was like, "Can we do some sort of inversion, out of the plane?" And he was like, "Yeah, thanks for telling me." He was like, "I'm gonna put my head back. We're gonna jump, and I just want you to throw your head back." He was like, "You do gainers a lot?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Don't tuck your knees." And I was like, "All right." He was just move back. So we went, and then he kept us at this vertical where my head was pointing south towards the equator. No, not the equator. The center of the
The
earth.
Earth's core.
The Earth's core. I was like, if I didn't stop, I would have blasted straight through to China and been like. Can we not say that shit in 2017? I'm sorry.
No,
It's
what
not
you
cool
said
to
was
make
great.
fun No,
The
okay,
thing You
okay.
said.
It's
Perfect.
not cool to make fun of other people's cultures.
Can we just cut this whole last bit?
No,
Hey, how'd you guys get over there?
I like that. That's true. That's
Is it?
You can
wanna
maybe use.
I want to be I want to hang out with the guy in your culture that's just like me. Is what
Well,
you're saying.
I think that we need to focus on that. I think that laughing at yourself and humility
Listen,
is the key. And we have certain friends right now that can't. They're very egotistical about what is going on. And I think that if you take a step back and say, well, can I say certain things because I don't want to hurt feelings? At a certain point, I'm going to go, what am I conditioning you to think?
Right.
And to
American
me,
culture.
Well, that's what it is now. It's this this almost entitlement to you can't say anything bad about me. And it's these are just fucking words at one point. Unless you're using strong hate speech, I do think that there's a middle ground to I think you're being a little oversensitive about people making comments about you, and it might not be about you in particular, or maybe it is. It's just this whole thing is you gonna file a fucking lawsuit or what? What
We
is
call
the
those
end?
people. We call them participation trophy winners.
There you go.
And
Well-
those kind of people. You learn no humility. You learn no grief. You learn no. You skip a lot of important things and emotions in life that really make you who you are. And if you can't sympathize or empathize, I guess, with those things, then I feel like it's hard to say. I can't say
you're right.
not.
There's
you're
a
not.
competitive edge that has been lost in and it's been almost flip flopped. winning and losing is this thing that is such a gray area now that like I really don't know like if I can say stuff just as a joke, and I know like sometimes like I mean this is going to be put on the internet, so we might edit some shit
Right,
because
I know
we
what
don't
you're
wanna,
saying.
No, but like, hey,
why do we have
if
to
you-
be
I
so
think
fucking
people
careful?
go to the Northeast, go to Massachusetts, because like like I grew up in a setting that was like if
Harsh.
you don't check your friends, you
Marsh.
don't love them.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't love
dude.
them. Like you check your friends so much in every single
Check your Instagram.
It's
you
Instagram
know-
harsh marsh, but go ahead.
Yeah, you check your friends. That's like if everyone's being nice. Your friends are supposed to be overly like, yo, like that's fucking funny what you do. The way you fucking rub your nose, that's fucking what you doing. You fucking weirdo.
Oh,
Like that's
I
your
thought
friends
you
are
were-
supposed
hey,
to be
yo,
like,
listen,
it's
you
supposed to
started
check
off-
you so you,
You
grow up.
started off with a quarterback joke. It sounded a lot like Tom Brady, and it was like more of a compliment.
What I wasn't saying like no yeah. I'm talking about like real young, like when you're growing up. Like yeah, I didn't have a fucking mean thing to say at the time, so it didn't end up being
But
good.
when
But,
you
like,
were
if you're-
young, I hope it's more like when you talk to a kid and they're so blatant and obvious and honest. It's kind of this refreshing thing. In 2017, when like I was trying to ask this girl out to go out on Tuesday, and I was like, I don't want to text like, you want me to call in a bomb threat so you can get off work? It was like in 2017, we've gotten to a point where like a shooting is like kind of like a normal thing now. And I felt like saying,
weirdly a normal thing.
but I was.
what do you mean a shooting? Like
like the one in Florida? Like a shooting happened. I'm like, again.
It
No.
it almost doesn't
it's
register.
desensitized.
Yeah, it doesn't
We're
register. Yep.
conditioned, and like this weird conditioning of like I shouldn't say bomb threat because I think, it could be looked at like by the FBI, and it's like
Everything, censorship,
fucking serious?
anything and everything you say is judged and graded by other human beings.
who would want to be
whether
president
whether
after
you
this?
want them to or not, on some level, every human being is judging every word you say, and they're processing it in their own way.
Yeah, think
I
about this. When we were young, and I have this bit about being a millennial and not, but we were, by definition, to Wikipedia, if you're born in 83 or after, you're a millennial.
Millennial, correct?
And
We're
to
millennials,
me, it's like,
correct?
well, are you fucking serious? Like, there's times in like,
Because me and you particularly are
What?
on that verge gap. You more so than
Absolutely.
me,
Why?
but because you
because
just
I'm hip and groovy,
no.
bitches.
It has a lot more to do with like the way you carry yourself, the kind of music you listen to,
Oh, I like oldies,
the food
dude.
you eat. Like it has things to do with like that. To me, that's what like really defines
I
the difference
think
in generations.
If you
is
have
things like
called
that.
a girl in
The
middle
what?
school and been like,
Millennium?
hey, is Allison there? And her dad
Yeah, I'm a
picks up,
millennial.
and you have to like fake that it's not you, or like you just have to go through that step of like calling another person and like setting up like your plans. That part was one of the funnest times in my life when like if you do get to meet up because
You're
you
saying like
said you fucking would.
the 8 to 10 age where we were like before cell phones.
No, well, cell phones came around to me in like middle school when kids were like,
yeah, like
actually
10
getting
to
them.
12 age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
computers.
Think about this. You watched porn when you were younger until now. You're desensitized. You want to keep pushing the boundaries, and so do people that film porn. So if my child in the future that I have so happens to look up on their smartphone at any time of the day, like I don't care if you have parental locks on shit, you can find stuff. And think about it like this. They're seeing that at such a young age, and
There's
just
always a loophole.
What's the loophole?
There's always a loophole. I don't know. I mean, I'm saying I'm sorry. I was just merely commenting on the fact that you said everyone will find a way. I said there's always a loophole.
Right. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I thought you meant the loophole and not like unseeing it. I'm just saying it's weird to see like this instant gratification generation right below
Weird.
us when we kind of feel the
Great
same way too. And it's like, I want to see a video. Let's look it up real quick, Pat. It's this weird group
it's
think.
Sorry.
It's so
Hypocritical.
It is.
Hypocritical. Yep. That's how
Well,
I feel.
are you going to
sometimes.
do without it? Or are you going to make it like
Nah,
work
I
to your
can't.
advantage?
I can't. I grew up with it. It's the weirdest sensation. Like I'll definitely like talk shit on it and stuff like that all day. I mean, from that standpoint, I don't really. That's why I say me and you. You know, I would even throw John in that group. You know, like some of us, we lean towards the older generation, even though we're still millennials at the end of the day, and it's like, dude, it's a tough one to put in words if we're being real. If we're being real honest, it's like, it's just like one of those things, and the world is changing. And I tell this to my my aunts, my mom, my uncles all the time. When they try to like debate things and argue things with our generation, I'm like, do you not understand the world is different than it was 10 years ago? I was like, just thinking about some of the things that
But
have
like
changed.
at the same time, as technology is growing, like the amount that you can like present yourself, like is way more out there, right?
Right.
Like how you're captured, how everything's like, and generations growing up, evolution, you didn't really have that. For me, evolution was matter growing to a point that I could have self-awareness, like self-actualization.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at such a point. Well, it took so many years for each age. Like man needs a long time to think. He needs to make a lot of mistakes before he conquers something.
You're in your
And
prime of
technology
thought right now.
But technology is so much faster than that. So like we
We're
figured out one age, then the next age, then the nuclear age came, and like
There's never been technology that's faster growth than economy. And,
There will be.
but not even
and-
economy. I'm not saying economy. I'm saying
Let
the
me-
idea of man.
But the thing
so
is,
like we
hold on.
figured out each age, like the Stone Age. We got to a point where we were building these most amazing structures. We were doing so much crazy stuff. And then the next thing came, and that's like a next empire right there. But we're at a point now where it's like, the nuclear empire happened, and now no one knows what to do because you can have so much money that you can.
Here.
I'm feeling you, but I'm saying
Go ahead.
no what ifs. I'm saying like, past, who knows what happened. I'm saying right now, looking towards the future. Are you proud to be a part of the millennial era?
It depends on what you're talking about. When it's like, are you having trouble accessing your iPhone? Then no. But if you're like, are you just slamming strange puss, hot ass young puss every night? Then I'm like, yeah.
Is that
And then it's
millennial?
cool to be a millennial. So we are on the brink. And I just want you to think about one thing. Pretend you have a child, okay? And when your child becomes what? First grade, second grade, okay? Maybe you're not the richest person out there. Maybe you are. How do you say to a kid, and I want you to think about Christmas. Christmas in our society is very strange about what you want and what you can get. And when these kids go, yeah, Mom, but Marshall's mom gave him a cell phone at age X, and you just keep pushing that age lower and lower. And then I see people that come into the restaurant and they're like, ordering drinks, and I look at their kid and they just hand them a fucking iPad. That thing was $30 on Cyber Monday.
Unreal.
I know. So think about how this is going to keep this transcending thing going, where the babysitter, just like Cable Guy with Jim Carrey, it's the babysitter. That thing controls little kids, and it's amazing how good they are at this. And it's like, no, it's not. We hand that shit to a kid and get rid of our fucking problems because we don't want to cope with being a parent.
So I have a question.
But
So
think about Christmas.
No.
When are you going to say, we agreed not to give her a cell phone? And then it's like, okay, let's get her, okay. And then the next year, you just fucking progressing it. If you have another kid, well, she's got a cell phone. Well, we'll give her a cell phone too. And then it's this thing. It's like, you can't stop it. This thing will not stop.
I don't know if it happens that quickly, but my question to you is like, when do you think we're going to get to a point where like our babies are born and they already have it like implanted?
The Matrix.
Somehow? Like no, not the Matrix.
That
So,
is
like, sounds like you're talking
it
about.
is.
We get to a point where like kids are getting cell phones younger and younger, and all of a sudden we're at a place where
That's-
like people have like implants to like
Okay.
have
so
some kind of like
A
technology
medical
link.
Answer.
advance.
An answer.
So our babies have that. They don't even get to choose it.
Well, I put a chip in Layla.
If-
Why wouldn't I put a chip
hold
in
on.
a kid?
If we hit,
Track them. Go
if
ahead.
we hit
Oh,
that
shit.
point, I understand.
Like a cyber
here's-
or like a
Here's the here's the weird
Marsh.
thing. The difference in information and freedom, and the difference in knowing how to put this in layman's
How
terms.
do you say?
Knowing more or less what's real and what's not real. You know what I mean? Because there's plenty of shit there on the internet that's fabrication bullshit. So like, what I'm saying is like, ultimately, like, how simple is an iPad or an Android? Think about it. How simple is it? It's one button. It's a touch screen. It's nothing that complicated. But yeah, we write it off as it's like you said, with little kids. They're like, oh, look at this little kid. He knows how to use that thing better than I do. It's like, well, in his years where his brain was in its growth stage, he's dedicating all his time to this device, and he's learning the ins and outs of this device. Same way, like when me and Ethan and John or Pat were, in our 10 or 8 to 12 range. We were discovering computers, Linux turning into Windows turning into Mac. Like all these different platforms. How to really understand, like, ultimately what society is trying to make us do. But
it's labor, working smarter versus harder. And I think what you're trying to say is that the person that made those things, how many times did they fail before they got it right? And this is the thing that separates millennials from like my parents. My parents would be like, well, how do I do this? And I go, literally, there's a home button that takes you back. So if you do something
wrong, you just hit that button.
You can make as many mistakes as you want in life. Crazy. And if you just go back, so it teaches millennials.
It's like the restart in Call of Duty or like Grand Theft Auto. It's like, I died. I stole that car. Reset.
So you fuck up in life. You cheat on a girl. You fucking do this or that. You steal from your friends. Whatever it is. I don't think millennials have this like conscientious moral fucking calling of this is wrong. It's like we start over and just grab.
Here's the biggest issue and problem with millennials. They pretend like they do have that. They don't, but they pretend like they do.
Do have what?
Like
What's
this,
that?
this like restart button.
Yeah.
This like, oh my God, I can press this button and all my problems are gone. Or, oh my God, all I gotta do is call this person. Now I will say this, in this era, some people, namely older generations and people my age or older, I'm 26. These people, they tend to feel like, like there's not an answer for everything immediately because they're so used to this.
They're fixated on themselves.
Yeah, they're so used to their life before computers and things like that. When there wasn't I can call so and so 1-800 and my problem's solved. Now it's like instantaneous reward, and including with people in our generation. And like I said, I fall just as what's the word?
Closely.
Victim as everybody else do. I fall into these traps of I use my phone all the time. I use these things. I call people to deliver food. If I don't, if I want this or I want that, I call someone else. I do this and it's done. It's like a totally different lifestyle than people living in the 60s, 70s, when just having a home and a family and being in one space, like that was the dream. That was what people
You almost
wanted.
talk about it like there's nothing to appreciate in this lifetime. And I mean, especially with
I understand where you feel that way. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're
but
good.
I definitely do not feel that way. I definitely feel like appreciation is the greatest thing you can have in life.
I'm not saying one or the other for you. I'm saying there's got to be some sort of balance.
Oh, agreed.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. I think we've watched John do his potty dance for too long. I know you got to pee, bro. I've been watching you.
Mic drop.
I'm just kidding. We need to cut this shit off anyway. It's been
I'm not. But we got some good
potty
stuff.
dance,
and
dude.
Hey, I just want to
listening
say
to you guys.
I just want to say
80 minutes.
Thank you for having me on.
Hey, thank you, bro.
I appreciate it.
Again.
I mean, like, it means a lot to me that you even want me on your show, to be totally honest.
I think.
Hey, but what I'm saying though is like, in all seriousness, like, you could literally have anybody you wanted on this show, and Ethan could have whoever he wanted on his podcast. So, it's an honor to be invited on the podcast. How do you feel, John?
I feel good.
John was like, "Whoa, John's fucked up." Okay,
it's fun, man. I get to talk. We've stopped.
I think, yeah. It's definitely a privilege. I think Ethan's glad to have us as much as we're glad to be here.
100%.
I'm not like, yeah. Yeah, I think he wants good, fun people talking into these microphones.
I want this to be a cursor of our friendship.
There's not a lot of there's a lot of people, but this is a great conversation to have.
Folks, thank you for sticking in for the long run. This has been a great podcast. We had a lot of fun. Episode 17 is in the bag, people. Thank you so much. We are about to go fucking party our dicks off in Denver. Peace out, guys. Thank you. Oh, man. Someone turned this thing off.
No.
We got that one still.
No, you're fucking kidding me.
You guys are handing it over. Were you fucking...
Drunk boy.
Let's see.
No, I'm kidding.
It's fine.
I cut it was probably. Let's see where it cut off.
Yo, we're going to look like...
Cut it off. Okay, we can watch the video.
Not yet.
I'm just kidding.
The only camera that was working was trusty old fucking whatever. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night. That was one of the most fun ones I've ever done. This podcast is brought to you by Philly Jixon's Chicken and Fries. If they're not chicken, they're fries.